Hey there YouTube, how's it going? I got another tool review. Now this tool review is a little bit different. Most of my tool reviews relate to mechanics tools and occasionally electrician's tools because 95% of what I use my tools to do is auto repair. But however, a good friend of mine is a security expert, and in addition to his electronic security business, he opens doors for law enforcement by picking the locks. Anyway, when I found out that he did that, I wanted to learn as much as I could because, in my opinion, knowing how to pick locks is really awesome. It's pretty cool. Anyway, it's like James Bond stuff. Not that I, again, do everything legally. In fact, you bought something really awesome when, here's the legal notice that it comes with. Lockpick laws change and vary by location. Awareness of and compliance with applicable lockpick laws are the user's responsibility. By purchase and or possession of a lockpick and or tool, you represent you are of legal age. You agree to hold Sparrows lockpicks, associated parties, and Sparrows lockpick dealers harmless from failure to comply with these terms and conditions of sale. So in other words, if you're a burglar and you use these for illegal activities, it's on you, bro. It's not on us for selling you the tools, because they do sell to professionals as well. Now, my buddy isn't as fond of this style for daily use. I think it's cool because it's slim, but they do have the equivalent of a comfort grip, or an instinct handle in lockpicks, where it actually has it has a grip around it, and it could be rubberized, plastic, or whatever. But in some cases, a different thicker metal. Anyway, for my purposes, I thought this was really cool. This is nice and slim. You can just stick them in your pocket. What I liked about this set is, so in addition to having what in my opinion, after learning a little bit about the trade, are some of the most useful and commonly used lockpicks, which I'll go over in a minute. I also liked that it was a complete set, and that getting it from Sparrows, which is a Canadian company, you get the exchange rate benefit living in the United States. So I paid $36 total for this entire set, shipped from Canada via airmail, and the Canadian price for these is $45. So it's if you do comparison shopping, to get all this for $36, and by the way, this is all pure high-grade American steel that they use, so it's a really good deal. Now, let me describe what some of these things are if you don't know anything about lockpicking. First of all, this set comes with these 6 tension wrenches. Now, what a tension wrench does is you insert it into the lock, and you put a little tension on it so that when you take one of these picks and insert it into the lock, use the pick to basically rake or kind of rock or push the individual pins in the lock so that they're flush, in each of their chambers. And the whole time while you're doing that, you keep tension on the lock, and so eventually, when you get all the pins lined up correctly, that tension will turn into a release, and then you'll feel the lock pop open as you continue to turn. So basically, these two things combine to replicate any key, and you can pick virtually any lock. Now, in the United States, locks tend to be a little more open, so you can get away with something that's this thick, which is 0.025 inches. In Europe, you actually need something thinner, which is one of the cool things about this set, and Japan might be the same, I believe. Anyway, you need something thinner. They have much thinner profile locks, and so this one is 0.015 inches thick. Usually, if you want different thicknesses, you have to buy different sets. And another thing that was cool is that this style, which I'll get into in a moment, is pretty much like the original, like the standard pick, or one of the original standard picks. And in other words, to have the one thinner pick in this style is really handy. Alright, so let's go over what these individual lock picks are. So first of all, this one is called a snake rake, and basically you can understand why. It looks like a little wiggly snake. Sometimes it's called a wiggly rake, and you stick it in there and you kind of rake it until you get the pins lined up. This is a newer invention, but it's kind of swept. I guess there's like professional lock picking competitions. I forget what they call them, but anyway, this is called the Pagoda rake, and it's a newer style, but it's really effective and works well. So same concept. You kind of you rake until you get the keys until you get all the pins lined up so that you can turn the lock. This one is called a half diamond, And as you can see why it's a half diamond. So this one you kind of, you can push the pins in. These are nice because they give you a particular type of feel, you know, for the pin as you're kind of trying to get it lined up. And you can kind of, you know, rock it into position. You can, you know, you can rake a little bit, but it's more like, it's kind of like more fine-tuned versus, you know, going in and trying to get it done as quickly as possible, almost like, you know, sawing those pins into place. This one is actually a hybrid rake that's a specialty, I believe, of Sparrows, where it's a combination of the short hook rake, which is what I'm about to get into, and it's got like basically it's a combination of a diamond, a half diamond rake, and a hook rake. One of the most commonly used, period. And really, you can pick pretty much anything with this. Is the short hook rake? The short hook pick. You don't really call this style pick a rake. I don't want to abuse that word. But this is the short hook pick, and again, this is standard thickness, 0.025 inches, and then this is the same short hook pick, and it's 0.015 inches thinner profile for thinner profile and high security locks. The last one, which has a pretty cool name in my opinion, it's called the City Rake, and the reason is because if you take a look, and it's the one that kind of reminds you the most of a key, right? So you can tell you absolutely want to be raking, you know, this with the tensioner acting as the turn on the key. Let's see if we can get this. But it's called a city rake because it looks like a city skyline. You see that? Anyway, I think you can see it. It looks like, you know, the backdrop of a city skyline. All right, so now that we've gone over that, why don't we see if I can get this set up and I can actually pick this lock while somehow, actually I'm gonna have to come right back because I need to find a way to stabilize my camera so that you can see me pick this lock, you know, on camera. All right, boys and girls, watch. So I'm inserting the tensioner like a doctor. Make sure, let's turn it this way, make it a little easier. So I'm inserting the tension wrench. I'm taking, boy, this is going to be hard to do because I can't actually look to see what I'm doing. I'll block the view of the camera, so this is going to be sped up. Anyway, I've got tension on the lock. Hope you can see this clearly. I'm pushing the pins in. Said, this would be so much easier if I was looking over it while I was doing it, or looking into it. There's no way to do it without blocking the damn camera. What a pain in the ass. Oh, hold on. Hold on a second. Oh, what's this? Ta-da! Magic! It's supposed to be a higher end master lock. Well, it wasn't cheap anyway. But there you have it. Lock picked. You know, on second thought, actually this video can relate to auto repair and electrical work. I mean, after all, there may be a lock that you need to get open for a customer or whatnot, or a project, and you don't have or you can't find the key. Well, now you have an alternative. Anyway, if you'd like to learn more about lock picking, I highly suggest you check out the YouTube channel of Bosnian Bill. He's basically the lock picking expert celebrity on YouTube, and the one of the best sources for information, not only in terms of, you know, the techniques and how to learn how to pick locks, but also in terms of what sort of picks you might be interested in a starter set, and some of the different brands out there that you might be interested in looking into, and you know, and some of the styles as well. So I highly recommend you check out Bosnian Bill's channel. I will provide a link in the description. And I will also provide a link in the description to Sparrow's website so you can check out their wares for yourself. And if you're curious, the set that I have here is called the Tuxedo, which, yeah, look at the black case, the thin profile of the picks, slip it into your tuxedo pocket. It's got James Bond written all over it, folks. Anyway, have a good one. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you next time.